Preston is what we call an EOS implementer. He helps leaders figure out how to be effective in their organization and set goals in a way that's going to get them to where they want to go, and also organize team around accountability and clarity and transparency with goals and vision. I just know that you have a lot to share with these folks. Preston, anything else you want to say to give a little background?
Welcome, everyone. It truly is a gift to share time with all of you. I think the gifts that I've been incredibly grateful to have been given is just the opportunity to help people connect dots where they might not connect them before. And it's just ended me up in the world of strategic planning and working with organizations, amazing organizations, developing what I'll call business organizing frameworks or business operating systems. It's just a treat to be here. One of the things I want to share with you first, there's a great book is called What Drives Winning. He's got one of the best definitions of a goal that I've ever heard. A goal is an ideal outcome toward which effort will be directed. It's like a North Star. It's a pin in a map saying that's where I want to arrive, and I'm going to direct my effort toward that point. I often experience a few things. I'm just going to capture at least three of them here. I end up being unclear and confused about what should be a priority. Like if I'm not really rigorous about how to approach setting goals and acting upon them. Longer term goals on hold for the chaos of today. And it's one thing I realize in the organizations that you're running, but sometimes goals can help cut through that chaos and confusion of day to day. And then lastly, like feeling like I'm on my own. There's no reason any of us should not employ the assistance of others along the way. I've realized there are three core culprits. The first one, and by far the most common, our goal is unclear. But when you have an idea of an outcome, what we want to do is create a very simple, very clear goal line. Like if we cross that, then we've actually accomplished it. Second, it's too big. I've just bitten off way more than I can chew. So if it's an annual goal, I try to accomplish something that I just was not set up to accomplish in a year. It's a quarterly goal. I just set myself up. I did not set myself up for something that could be accomplished then. And the last culprit is low accountability. I just didn't set myself up to take the action. In other words, to govern and manage myself in a way that would help me accomplish my goals. Consider like your 3-year is going to bring things a little bit closer in from that distant goal. And I find the 3-year visioning or 3-year picturing process is amazing because it does paint a picture of an ideal organization in 3 years. That 3-year gets us back, if I reverse engineer, to 1 year. A 1-year plan or a 1-year goal is about 33% of a 3-year vision or an element of your 3-year vision. So what do I need to do this year so that I can actually make my 3-year vision a reality? Our quarterly goals are then 25% of our annual goals. Every 90 days, right? That's what we call them quarters, is 25%. And then ideally, what I do with a quarterly goal is I actually back in and say, I'm going to create like 1 to 2 week milestones so that if I've got 12 weeks in a quarter, I actually assign a milestone or a step for each week or every other week. But if I'm committed to creating the impact I'm committed to, if I'm committed to forming the team that I want to, if I'm committed to building the resources that are required for me to have an amazing organization, I've got to be more comfortable with using the word no. And I would say it this way, it's probably one of the best focusing tools that any of us would have. So when we start with that long-term plan, we're going to go way out to that North Star concept. What would be the description of this ideal organization that I want to create that's going to make an amazing impact in our communities, in the world? But now we want to act in reverse. So you go out to the future and then design from that future back to today. For me to accomplish that by the end of the year, called 2024, well, what should I accomplish not later than September 30th? And then I want to think through, what should I accomplish not later than June 30th? And then ultimately, what should I accomplish by March 31st goal? Now I want to take it 2-week milestones. So every 14 days, I will accomplish X. But ultimately, if I set myself up for 2-week milestones, I will by default, in my success of accomplishing 2-week milestones, accomplishing my quarterly goals, my annual goals, my 3-year vision will become a reality. And then ultimately, I'll hit that long-term target. One of the best things you can do is set up a regular cadence of check-ins or a weekly tactical meeting. Every 1 to 2 weeks, I can check in. How's everybody doing? Right? What are the projects that are most important? Are they still most important? And then are there any opportunities or issues that we need to make decisions on this week or this 2-week period that would then have an impact? It's a progress-based check-in where teammates know every Tuesday at 9 a.m. to 9:30, we're checking in. I'm old school. I love pen or pencil and paper. So I've got what's called a full focus planner. This is a 90-day journal, and then it's literally a daily and weekly planner to map out what's most important. It's one of the best tools I've used. Trello is a great technology tool. Asana, you could set up a spreadsheet in Google Docs. If anyone's in the Microsoft world, Teams, I believe, has some type of project planning. But if you just look at some project planning technology, anything that allows you to put an objective in and then create sub steps in some form is just a great tool. I encourage clients I work with to use a system called 90.io, NINETY.io. It's actually specifically designed for business or for organizations using an organizing framework. Rather than saying too big, I just simply say we're working on too many things. Consider 2 goals 100% complete are exponentially more valuable to your organization than 10 goals partially worked on. The accountability of the group, finding maybe it's a monthly meeting for the teams to get together to just simply say, we're going to walk through the goals we're working on. We're going to declare on track or off track for each. We're going to say, great job on the on track items. And we're going to put on what we'd call an issues list, the off track items, for which during that meeting, we would simply ask, how can we support you in moving that goal forward over the next month? In working with visionary entrepreneurs, there's this phenomenon called what I'll call visionary whiplash that a lot of people in the organization experience, not always the visionary. The whiplash could be because we're going back and forth from like goal to goal. Like, well, today this is the goal destination, and then tomorrow it's something different. So we go side to side. And then also it's like, it's so big that we have to hit the brakes really hard. So it's like, then the whiplash back and forth. We're not going to promise the moon. We're actually going to get across the goal line some of these shorter term things and build stamina and skill in doing that. Because folks, like, your long-term goal will always become a reality when you get really good, like behaving that way, if you will. Do your best to make them as quantitative as possible. What does done look like? Like, ask that question over and over again. We can't solve problems We cannot think our way into solutions. We have to talk our way into solutions with others. So it's like it's getting out of your head thinking about what done looks like and actually bringing it to this team or bringing it to your teams and saying like, I'm stuck, folks. I see this amazing goal. Help me make done as concrete as possible.
Preston, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet.
Thanks
Thank
all.
you.